Did you know that over 13% of the American population would rather swim with sharks than do and file their taxes by April 15th? Good morning and welcome to Breakfast of Champions, Growing the Money. My name is Rich Lennon, and we are here every day from 8 to 8:10 in the morning where we talk all things growing the money. And it only felt wildly appropriate that today on April 15th, we talk about taxes. All right. Yeah, 13% of Americans would rather swim with sharks than go through the process of filing their taxes, which I found absolutely insane. So if you are sitting here today and hopefully you knew it, if you didn't know it, that today is the last day to file without penalty for your individual tax returns. Your S corps, hopefully everybody knows their S corp filings were due by March 17th, 2025, and today is the deadline for individual tax days. I am not a CPA. I'm not a tax attorney. I only know taxes because I have to file my taxes as an American citizen, and I just bring you my humble opinion and observations, and you got to make your own decision. So, a couple things I thought that I would talk because I don't think everybody realizes this. The number one is that if you file an extension, you automatically get a 6 month extension, and I think that puts you out to September 15th. I don't know. I have to check my notes, but it pushes you out for 6 months, but your taxes are still due. So if you haven't filed your taxes, and if you would do me a favor, put in the comments today, have you filed your taxes yet or have you not filed your taxes yet? That doesn't mean you won't file your taxes by the end of the day. Similar maybe to the Lennon family, you will wait to the very last moment to either file or file your extension. It's this game that we play on every April 15th. But you have to pay your taxes on April 15th, regardless of whether or not you actually file. And so typically, you get a penalty, I believe it's around 10%, and then they charge you interest, which again, I believe is around 10% APR, for not filing. And make sure you look up those penalties. I'm not sure that that's 100% correct, but I think that's correct. Who knows? So again, just see the note that we're just not a tax attorney. So regardless, I do know that you absolutely get those penalties. How do I know? Because I made that mistake in the past, and that's how I figured things out a lot of times in my life, like most entrepreneurs. So a couple years ago, I assumed that since I filed for an extension, that I could just pay my taxes later. And then I had the very harsh reality when I finally paid my taxes and my CPA told me how much I owed. So I don't make that mistake again, and I'm trying to help you not make that mistake as well. So you have to make an estimation of how much you owe in taxes. And if you are incorrect, you will still pay the penalties and you'll still pay the interest. So in some ways, I hate to say this, it's probably better to slightly overpay than to slightly underpay because you want to avoid those penalties. If you are due a refund, you actually have 3 years to file, right? So the penalty for not filing is a penalty on the taxes, but since you don't owe any taxes, there really aren't any penalties. So you have 3 days to file and make sure that you get that proper refund. So keep that in mind. So all right, just a couple fun facts that I wanted to. It's a tough day, and it's a tough day for the post office because tough day for all of us. I took some notes, and now I really can't find my notes. That's okay. All right, so the C, I think I mentioned before that it's the individual tax return and it's the C corps that are due, and the single member and sole proprietor. Those are the ones that are due on April 15th. All those of us who had S corps were due, and we had to file by March 17th. Yeah, okay. Let me check my notes, man. I don't want to come in. I didn't want to come in here without notes today. A couple things. All right. All right, a couple. All right. So your tax dollars at work. Just want to take a couple things out. So on taxes, let's see. The IRS uses approximately 2 billion sheets of paper per year, which means that the Earth can you can wrap that paper 28 times around the Earth. I thought that was interesting. And here's one that the Lennons themselves certainly fall into the category of where over 20 million taxpayers file their returns on the last week of file on the last week of before they're due, which is I think a pretty common. So if you are out there today and you haven't filed, don't sweat it. You're not alone. It's pretty common. I think it was Einstein that said that income taxes were one of the most complicated things in the world. So don't sweat it. I thought it was worth noting that Freedom Day, let's see, Freedom Day is 105 days after. So that really happens. So January, February, March. So really around April, right? Around April, right around tax day, by the way, is we spend the first 105 days of the year working for the federal government. And that's normally our tax burden that we do. So the time we work is approximately 105 days to be able to pay our taxes, and that's the money that goes directly to. And then you get the additional 261 days or whatever it is, 261 days to work and keep that money. A couple things that I've learned over the years, and this is an unpopular opinion, and I posted it on Facebook a little bit ago, is I like to pay my taxes with my credit cards. And the reason I do that is because I do airline miles. And I think that a lot of people that grow wealth, one of the things that they want to do is they want to get into travel. And I learned in last couple of years, travel is very expensive. So I started playing the airline game. And I found that taxes is a pretty good place to build up my airline miles. Now, you have to use the right credit card because you do pay fees when you pay that credit card, as much as like 1.75%. But all those fees goes towards points. And then you take those points on a multiplier, and then you can often convert your points into airline miles and a lot of different games. And I should do a whole episode one day and breaking down all the different things that you can do with airline miles. But you can fly around, excuse me, you fly one way business class from DC to Heathrow. Um, Heathrow, that's in London, right? Did I get that right one? Yeah, wow, there's London. I don't know what's London Airport. I think it's Heathrow. I don't know. But you can fly around, you can fly one way business class for 29,000 miles. So 29,000 miles equates to about $300 in fees that you would have paid to get that money. And if you buy it on something like the Venture X, which is double the points, then you're really only paying like $150 to go one way to London in business class, lay down, take a nap kind of thing. So there are a tremendous amount of benefits to go along with the airline miles. And I like to pay my taxes with airline miles. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but that's what I like to do because I like to use all my miles. All right, let's see. I was going to go over some origins of tax day. Did you know that like taxes were like we all probably know that taxes came about in the Civil War, 1862, when taxes were first introduced. They were proven unconstitutional. And then, of course, we had to have a constitutional amendment in 1913 that the federal government could charge us taxes, and they were only going to charge us a little bit of taxes. And now, depending on what state you live, combine your federal and state tax and your tax bracket, some of you are paying as much as 52% of your income on taxes. This is when I would like to politely note that when we grow our money, that's why we grow our money in things like self-directed Roth IRAs or 401k Roth IRAs, where we don't pay the taxes. We pay taxes and then we contribute the money, and then we don't pay taxes when we pull out. So although my lending business paid quite a bit of money in taxes, it didn't pay all the money that it could have paid in taxes because I do a fair amount of my investing inside my Roth IRAs, which make a big difference right around April 15th and is an absolutely great way to build wealth. All right, so I didn't want to go too long on tax day because I'm sure everybody's got to run out and fill their taxes. I did want to give you a couple of the freebies that companies give away. All right, everybody, companies know that it's stress, and I know you get a free donut at Krispy Kreme or buy one, get one glazed donut or something like that. If I can find my notes on it, I'll share it with you, but maybe I can't find my notes. Now my notes are falling on the floor. Yeah. Tax. Oh, there it is. All right, I got it. All right, I was about to get rid of it. All right, Burger King, 1 cent cheeseburger. All right, with the $1 purchase and Royal Perks members. I just want to say that out there. Krispy Kreme, buy one get 1 dozen glazed donuts. Right, and then Olive Garden has buy one take one entree. So if you're feeling stressed out about your taxes today, A, you're not alone, but B, go to Krispy Kreme, Burger King, or Olive Garden, and they will hook you up. All right, I'm a little bit of punch drunk because I was staying up all night last night making sure that the taxes were done and on time. Okay, not really me, but the Lennon family did. And yeah, that's all I got. Okay, my name is Rich Lennon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Just kind of babbling on tax day. But yeah, get those taxes filed. And don't forget, you have to pay what you think you owe. and it's likely better to overestimate than underestimate. It kind of hurts me to give the government a 0% interest, and that's what happens when you overpay. But the penalties and the interest can be significant if you don't pay attention. All right, I hope everybody has an amazing day. Stay safe. And if you're going to go to the post office, make sure you get there early. All right, everybody.